What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mitch and Maeli Live. This is the first Mitch and Maeli Live of the year. We've got some awesome stuff happening. We've got a guest speaker for you. We're going to be bringing him out very shortly. You can see him on the screen now, Nate Lambert. Now, we do have a couple of announcements starting the year off right. Nate's going to be chatting with us about goal setting. Can't think of a better person to talk to us about how to set goals and how to hit those goals than Nate. Nate and I have kind of grown up together in real estate, and it's been fun to kind of watch each other's successes and encourage each other and help each other and compete with each other and all those fun things. So I'm sure Nate's going to dig into a lot of that. But I do want to start off with some announcements. So for those of you who are in our Utah market, we have our in-person training tomorrow, Thursday, every Thursday at 7 p.m. We're going to be doing a mastermind. So our mastermind, we're going to be, Maeli's going to be leading that. I'm going to be talking to the new guests as usual. Make sure you join us. It's at Top Equity Real Estate every Thursday at 7 p.m. So whether you're a new student or you're a seasoned veteran, there's something for everyone. So you're going to want to join us. And then we also have some exciting stuff coming up with the Epics Real Estate Conference. So if you are a new Renata student and you've purchased your education between the months of, I believe, August and December, right? Or August and January, up to December 31st, then you get to join us at our Epics Real Estate Conference, which will be held in Centerville, Utah. And that is the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th of January. We've got some awesome speakers coming in, instructors from our award-winning education that are coming in to talk to us, as well as we have a ski day planned. So January 13th, we've got a day plan on the slopes. You're not going to want to miss it. You're going to be rubbing shoulders with other real estate investors and people much more successful than yourself and than ourselves. We're going to be hanging out with those people. So you're going to want to be there. Now, with that said, I want to give Nate as much time as he can take to train us on this awesome topic, the first topic of 2024, which is how to set goals and how to hit those goals. Now, I got to tell you, Nate and I, we became real estate investing students at about the same time. And we've seen a lot of successes together. We've been through market changes together. We've climbed mountains together, and the whole way. What I can say about Nate is a very collaborative, very generous person. And man, I mean, I'm grateful to have a friend like Nate because real estate can be tough. There's like I said, there's mountains you have to climb sometimes, and it's nice to have people in your corner who have a different set of experiences and a different set of knowledge. I've watched Nate throughout his career just set goals and hit them one after another, and so I'm so excited for him to come out and man, he's done hundreds of transactions, hundreds of real estate transactions, in multifamily, commercial, wholesaling, fix and flips, seller finance, rentals. I mean, you name it, Nate's done it. So I'm excited for you guys. Now, he has asked that he wants this to be a conversation. So as you guys have questions, feel free to come on out, come off mute, ask Nate your questions, and then we're going to be doing a question and answer at the end. So without further ado, Mr. Nate Lambert, welcome to the call, my friend. Happy 2024.
Hey, what's up,
There he
guys?
is.
Happy New
Hitting those
Year!
goals, man. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
On the treadmill. I love that so much.
Yeah, guys, I'm always heading towards my goals, and health is one of my big ones this year. That's why I'm walking. I'll probably walk 3 or 4 miles while I'm training tonight. So I find it gives me a lot of energy. That's partly why I do it. I can be just totally zoned in on you guys and helping you to achieve your goals for this year. So let's jump right in. So I really wanted to start off by saying, like, I know there's a lot of stuff about New Year's resolutions and goals at this time of year, and a lot of it's just kind of temporary and fake. Like it's funny, like Becky and I were at the gym on January 2nd, and like the parking lot was packed. There was like no space, so that's the kind of thing that you see oftentimes when people don't really have their true purpose dialed in. They might set a few resolutions and try for a week or two and then give up quickly. put in the chat yes if that's ever been you, where you've gotten the start in January, you're excited, and then it just kind of fizzled out. But yes, if that's ever happened. Yeah, a lot of people, that's the pattern. Okay, so tonight I really want to help you guys to create some sustainable goals. We're going to talk about a lot about creating a why, because a compelling why is going to help you to stay focused on your goals more than about anything else. But first of all, I wanted to talk about, the being a whole person. And then we'll go through, so we'll talk about the different, I like to call it the 6 F's, the 6 areas where you can set your goals. And then we're going to really dive into, a morning routine. I'll show you what my morning routine looks like. So much of what happens during the day is formed in the morning, right? When you wake up, there's a phrase that says, win the morning, win the day. So I'll show you what my morning routine looks like. And then we're going to jump in. I created a new framework just recently about the 5 levels of financial freedom. So we're going to help you guys create a vision and a why to get you jazzed up, and some strategies like vision boards and affirmations to really keep you going all year long and reach your goals and your dreams like you've never seen before. So first of all, let's talk about the areas of life, right? I mean, it's not just about making lots of money. If that's your main and only goal, life's really going to suck at the end. It's going to be hollow. So, I like to call the first one for me is faith. And maybe for you, if you're not as into religion, maybe this is being spiritual, right? I mean, think about what kind of things, how do you want to connect with the universe? How do you want to connect with God? How do you want to connect? Creating some goals surrounding what you want to do with your faith is super important, because you're going to find a lot of meaning and strength through your faith goals. Then the next for me is my family, right? I mean, and this is an order priority for me. So family is next. We have those of you who maybe are meeting me for the first time. I mean, I have eight kids. There's a lot going on with the kids. They're amazing, but they also have a lot of challenges. We both my new wife Becky and I went through a divorce with our former spouses, and as Mitch Maeli can attest, it's tough. There's a lot of challenges. So we're helping to rebuild these kids in so many ways. It's been so gratifying, but it's a lot of work. So you got to have some real clear goals around your family and what you're going to do to really help strengthen them and build the relationships that matter most in life. Because at the end of the day, the relationships are going to give you way, way, way more satisfaction than any amount of money. Next is fitness. And I say fitness for me is number 3 in order, because, if you're not taking care of your body, then what good does it do to have a lot of money, right? Like there's a lot of people that lose their health. And if you lose your health, it's gone. I mean, you're going to be on a respirator. You're going to be in a old folks home. I mean, this is not how you want to live. You gotta take care of your health. And so, for me, I set some pretty big goals in August around my birthday. I really wanted to lose 40 pounds. And guess what? Today, I hit the 40-pound mark. I'm down 40 pounds. Thank you. And so, and it's not just about a temporary thing. This is like, I am committed to living sugar-free for life. I made it through all the holidays without eating a single treat. And I feel great. I eat for fuel, not for pleasure. That's my mantra. And I've been doing all kinds of stuff to take my health to the next level. I've been, like today, for example, is day 3 of my fast. I've been fasting for almost 72 hours. And I'll show you with part of my daily routine what I'm doing, but you got to exercise your mind, and it really releases so many endorphins that are going to help you work better. You're going to be more focused. You're going to be dialed in more than you've ever been dialed in before. So, taking care of your body is so important. And then, of course, finances, right? We're going to talk a lot about finances, what financial freedom looks like. We'll talk about that shortly. And then you have your fun. You got to have a good time. A lot of that can be blended with family. So, things like, for me, and actually I want to throw into the chat, what are the things you like to do most for fun? What are your fun categories? What gives you satisfaction and fun at the same time? For me, I love traveling, as you've probably noticed if you know me. I love to hike and explore, and I love to ski. My kids and we all go skiing, my wife and kids. We all go skiing together. It's incredible family time. It's so much fun. Some people are saying travel, international travel. And then the last of the F is fulfillment. What can you do to serve and help others? Being a part of the Renatus community is an amazing way to find fulfillment. You're helping other people. You're learning how to be real estate investors yourself, but you're also helping others to learn how to be successful real estate investors. Giving back is such a key part to happiness in life. So what I would encourage you, again, faith, family, fitness, finance, fun, fulfillment. Mitch tagged all those in the chat. I divide my life into all those categories, and then I set goals in a very organized, structured way in each of those categories. And I'm not going to go into a lot of depth on the specifics of goal setting, but ultimately, as you know, you got to be very specific. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to make more money. How much money? When do you want to make that? Let's set some deadlines and some really clear objectives. So, for example, one of my financial goals, we have about $1 million in private money and home equity line of credit debt that I came up with a plan. We're gonna actually pay all that off by July 4th. So we're gonna be free of debt, of essentially, I call it mid-tier debt, where it's not crazy high interest, but higher than I would like. So that'll save us about $11,000 a month in expenses. We use that debt for good things like buying properties. So it wasn't stupid debt, but it was, obviously would love to just knock out that $1 million and create an additional $12,000 in monthly cash flow. So that's an example of a very clear goal, and I have a deadline, and I won't go into all the strategies that I have in place. Part of it is selling some properties, part of it is getting some business cards at 0%. Part of it is selling more, Renatus and other things, right? So I have clear set things. Here's what I want to do in each of these areas. I have my plan mapped out. So you want to be very clear and specific with those goals so that you can achieve them at a high level. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is your morning routine, because as they say, rule the morning, rule your day. You want to get yourself in a peak state. I'm going to actually share with you what I did this morning. I've been implementing little by little. I wouldn't necessarily say to go this complex all at once. There might be some nuggets you can take from this routine. So this is what my day looked like today. So I started off drinking some water, some vitamin D, some other supplements, and then I hit the gym, right? Because again, that high intensity workout on a bike, I biked 12 miles, but it wasn't just biking. It was like fast, slow. That gets your heart rate pumping, that gets you energized. I did a grounding technique where I stood barefoot on the cold grass right as the sun came out. That's a lot of research suggests that catching the sun right when it comes out really just orients you. It sets your circadian rhythm. I did some affirmations I can share with you guys some of my affirmations. I take my goals and then I shout them out in the form of affirmations every day. And I actually have like 4 pages, single space pages of affirmations that I shout out. It actually takes me like almost 10 minutes to get through all of them. So then I did some meditation. I wrote in a gratitude journal. Again, I don't try and apply all this all at once, but some of the things that really connect with you, you might try out in your miracle morning, they call it. There's a great book on that titled Miracle Morning. And then I, walked on my treadmill for an hour. And the cool thing about that is I can actually, I have a desk that raises up, so I can actually, when I get tired, I can just press a button and it lowers and I can sit down. But I try 2 or 3 times a day to walk as I work. I can type, I can do trainings like this all while I'm walking. And it just gives your body a lot of oxygen. It energizes you. It reduces cortisol, so you just feel in an amazing state. So I just, especially if you're working from an office, I mean, I'd say try out the walking treadmill with the heightened desk. It's been such a game changer for me. And then, so this is designed to really give me energy throughout the day, just put me in a huge peak state. The next is, and this morning it just felt incredible. Like I had so much energy and focus. It was amazing. And then at lunch, I jumped in my ice bath. There's big chunks of ice floating around. Hopped in there. I won't go into all the benefits of that, but there's incredible benefits of an ice bath, and it just energizes you. Like it's like similar to a shot of cocaine, a hit of cocaine, in terms of the dopamine that it releases. And I love Maeli's laughing at me, but I mean, it really that's just one of the many benefits. It gives you energy, focus, and dopamine. And then I actually walk on the treadmill partly to warm up after that. So after eating lunch or whatever. So I usually have an afternoon slump. And for me, the jumping in the ice bath just gives me such a lift during that time. That used to be a slump. Now it's just like, I just keep rocking out at high levels in the afternoon. And then at dinner, sometimes, after 4 or 5 hours, the effects wear off. So for me, I just started, it's called the Wim Hof breathing technique. It's like, it's almost like you're hyperventilating and then you're holding your breath. And again, it gives you a lot of energy and focus. And I did that partly to get ready for this training and to try it out. A lot of people say it's great. So then I'm just doing some more walking. So that's what my day looks like. And I'm going to add even some more things. But you want to think about like what of those things or other ideas really connects with you. In fact, let's put in the chat, what have you guys tried so far to get yourself in a peak state, whether it be exercise or any of these other things I mentioned, affirmations? What has worked the best for you to give you the energy and focus and motivation to have a killer day? Go ahead and type it in the chat. I'd love to see what that is. So someone's asking me, what is frequency 528? It's a friend of mine, the guy that does the fire walks for Tony Robbins. He told me about this, and I don't know that much about it, to be honest, but it's like really relaxing. It just like dials you in. It's pretty awesome. Medication, making the gym a priority, more sleep, exercise, walking outside, affirmation, music, grounding. Oh, Kimberly does grounding. That's great. I literally just started that. Oh, and crack. Nice, Jerry. So keep on writing them. I mean, and think about, what do you want to, I would set a goal. One of your goals should be to apply more of whatever that is that that's really helping you the most. And then try adding in another 1 or 2 things into your routine to keep you in a peak state. Because again, so much of achieving your goals is staying in a peak state as long as you can throughout the day. All right. Maeli says, I listen to meditation while doing hot yoga. Nice. Sounds awesome. So great ideas. Check out what other people are writing. And oh, someone says sex. I agree with that. I didn't include that, but yes, that is a part of my daily routine as well. LK, great idea. So all right. So next, I really want to jump in. Let's and we can go into whatever you want at the end of the call if you want to dive into some affirmations. Vision board can be phenomenal. If I could, I'd turn my screen and show you mine, but I have it. I actually got this idea from Dane Clark to put it on, get Google Images and clip it onto a little clipboard thing. It's hard without showing you, but anyway, vision board is a game changer. So put all your goals and the vision, the things that you really want to accomplish on your vision board. And then you can, that's going to just work on your subconscious. Your body sees in pictures. So having that vision board can be one of the most powerful things you can do to accomplishing your goals. All right, so I really want to jump in and show you guys, and then we can dive into whatever else you want at the end. But I really want to show you guys this framework that I've been working on that I'm really excited about the 5 levels of financial freedom. And so this is something that I think is going to help really motivate you and give you those long-term push and drive to keep pushing when it gets hard, because it's always going to be hard, always going to find obstacles that ultimately help you, but it's tough. So let's focus on this. So here's how I define financial freedom: the freedom to do what you want, when you want, where you want, with whom you want, and for how long you want. So again, it's not about the amount of money. In a lot of ways, it's about the time freedom that you have to build the relationships and spend that time with people that you love the most. But of course, the finances are really important to make that happen. Otherwise, you're stuck in a 9 to 9 type job. And so, that's why we're all here ultimately, is to build this financial freedom. So here's the 5 levels of freedom. We start off with what I like to call the shackled beginnings. The being chained to the desk, the W-2, the boss. No fun, right? And then you get your first deal. Get your first deal that starts to change everything. Then you keep getting more deals. You become your own boss. You create enough cash flow to achieve what I call bill burden relief. And then you hit leisure lifestyle and then dream life freedom. We'll go through all 5 of these and I'll define them and show you what you can do to achieve each one of them. And I'm going to illustrate it by sharing some of my life story with you to illustrate how you can achieve each of these levels of financial freedom. So let's start off with shackled beginnings. Again, this is working long hours to make someone else rich. I've talked to so many people on calls. They're like, I am sick of this. I don't want to do this anymore. And essentially, it's you're lacking time for what's most important to you in your life. Just out of curiosity, type in the chat if right now you're feeling like you're in this stage. You're and a lot of you are probably here because of that, right? Like, this is me. Just type, this is me. If you feel like you're working the long hours, you're a slave to the W-2 bosses. And if you're at the point where you want to fire your boss, write that in the chat. I'd love to see who's motivated to change their life. Okay. I love it. Definitely me. Okay, so we've got here's my story. I started off like Mitch said, we jumped into real estate around the same time. Before I found Renatus, I found this buy and hold rental finder company that helped me get my first rental. But that was helpful, but I wanted to do more. I needed to do things creatively. I found a guru company, and they gave me some creative strategies that I could look into. But at the end of the day, it was I like to compare it to the circus. They come into town, give a good show, and then they leave town. And then I decided to get my realtor license. This is the house that I lived in as a BYU professor, and I was gonna complete the basement and then sell it, and I maxed out all my credit cards. It was a tough time, and then my car broke down, and I had to borrow my older brother's car. It was really embarrassing, but it was just I didn't have any money to fix it or get a new one. And then I found Renatus, and that changed everything. That helped me progress to level 1, which is first deal, right? There's something about that first deal that it's hard to overcome. There's a lot of fear attached to that first deal. There's a lot of apprehension. How many of you, put in the chat if you have had at least one deal? Who's done one or more deals? Put in the chat. I'd love to see who's done one or more real estate deals. And I bet all of you who have done it are yeah, it wasn't easy, right? I mean, you got a lot to overcome. You got to get some knowledge. You got to get some relationships, which are all things that Renatus helps you create in your life. And you have a whole community of support to help you do that first deal and to make sure, help check your numbers and make sure that you're not screwing up big time, right? So that first deal is massive. And again, what I love about that first deal, Freedom's first deal, is it gives you the glance at real estate through completing that first deal. In fact, one of my first deals was actually with Mitch. He was flipping homes, and I said, hey, love to be a part of this. I gave him some money as a private investor, and he really got me involved in that. So I owe a lot to Mitch for helping me get, I think that was actually my second deal, but it was a game changer. So that community, that support is so important. So for me, one of the first deals was this house. I ticked the box. The house wasn't selling. It wasn't selling. And then I, joined Renatus, learned about creative strategies. I ticked the box that said that I was willing to take seller financed offers. And boom, within a few days, I had 2 seller financed competing offers and made $109,000. It was such a rush. And that was the day that I'm like, I am a real estate investor. I could never do anything else. This is amazing. So, and then, was able to pay off all my student loan debt. We actually moved to Fiji for 7 months. Just wanted to see what life was like on the island. We were on an episode of HGTV's House Hunters International. You can look it up on Hulu. See our episode. It was a great experience. All right, so freedom level 2 is become your own boss. So this is how I define that. You need to have enough profitable deals, whether it be fix and flips, wholesales, rental properties, to replace the income of one or both spouses if you're married, so that one or both of you has the time to pursue real estate full time. And I love this picture because this is kind of what it's like to be a real estate investor full time. And there's some work involved. You see the guy's on his computer talking on the phone, but he's also hanging out at the beach. He can do it from about anywhere, and so much fun. So to be your own boss, though, again, don't jump into it too quickly. A lot of people, you got to get the deals built up. So it's going to take a little extra time to get out of that, to get out of those shackled beginnings. You gotta be patient. You don't want to just jump in before you've done the work and got some stuff in the mix to fire your boss. But there's nothing more gratifying, guys. I remember when I turned to my boss, I'm like, hey, it's costing me too much to work for you. uh, I need to move on to something else, right? So definitely keep working on those deals, keep working with Mitch and Maeli and all these amazing resources that Renatus offers to get one deal after the next. And, choose, if you're married, choose which spouse it makes sense to replace their income and have them quit first. And then the idea is that they go full time into real estate, work it even harder, and then the second spouse can then quit their job, and then you guys are living it up together. So it can be a kind of a, sometimes you might both quit at the same time, but sometimes it might make more sense to make enough money for one person to quit, go full time, and then the other person can follow suit right after that. So for me, actually, hey, speaking of Mitch, this is the flip that I did with Mitch. We made 31,000 on this sucker. Good times, right, Mitch? I have happy memories of that. And then kept doing more deals. This was a $96,000 profit. I'm still making money on this one. This was a seller finance deal. This is another flip I did in Salt Lake City. So again, those and other deals are what set me up to be like, all right, I'm done, boss, you're fired. I'm doing my own thing. And then I started working toward freedom level 3, which is bill burden relief. So here's how I define bill burden relief. This is by the time you have enough passive income, right, through long or short-term rentals to be able to cover all your core living expenses. Living expenses being, the things that are listed here in this picture, things like your mortgage payment, your phone, electricity, gas, some of the basics, right? This is like, all right, I'm just going to cover my food. All those things are covered with your cash flow. So this definitely gives you some peace of mind. It doesn't let you really live the good life, but it's a great start, and it's a great thing to build up to this level 3 bill burden relief. So for me, I started getting more and more rental properties. This is one out in Tooele, $550 a month. This one's $580. Started picking up more and more rentals. And then slowly I was able to work up to freedom level 4, which is leisure lifestyle. So this is how I define leisure lifestyle. Now you've hit the point where your rental portfolio is big enough to not only cover your bills, but a comfortable life, right? Like going on some family vacations, maybe not crazy exorbitant ones, but like you're going fun places, you're going out to dinner with friends, you're enjoying yourself, and your rental income covers all those expenses, which is a great place to be, because then you're like, hey, no matter what happens, like, I mean, rental income is pretty dang stable. Nothing's a sure thing, but you got the recurring cash flow coming in every month to give you this stability to cover pretty comfortable lifestyle. So for me, that was, for example, Becky and we got married a year ago. We got, the fourplex. We put about 400,000 into doubling the size of this fourplex, and now it's cash flowing 5,100 a month. So that really helped get us to that point where we're like, man, we've got some leisure lifestyle things that are happening. I did a 26 unit complex in Pocatello. I actually just took my kids there over Christmas break. We did a ski trip up to Jackson Hole and Big Sky, Montana, and we stopped by Pocatello. I showed them the house, told them a little bit of a story about how I got it. We created about $1 million in equity in this property, in this 26 plex. Great experience, and gotta love the cash flow. So these and other projects have helped get us to that point of like, hey, this our cash flow now is covering all of these things. And then freedom level 5, this is what I'd like to call, this is how I define it. It's enough passive income through your rental portfolio to cover the cost of living your dreams, living your dream life. like maybe living in a mansion, driving your dream car. We're actually gonna do some exercise to showcase what constitutes a dream life for you. So for me, actually I think Becky and I are on the verge of right now, we use a lot of our Renatus income to fund our dream life. So we do have the dream life that we want, but this level is really having that recurring cash flow, paying for all of that. So part of that's going to be paying down that $1 million of HELOC debt that's higher interest rate now and private money, right? And then we're just about to finish this 26 luxury beachfront home development in North Carolina. The cash flow on this is actually going to phase 1 should be about phase 1 and 2 should be about 2.4 million a year between me and a couple partners, two other partners in cash flow. So this is, which we have about 5 million in equity in this project. So that's really exciting. We're having a ribbon cutting ceremony at the end of April. 25 of our investors all around the country are flying in to come check it out. We're going to do a workshop with them and show them the property that they invested in, and then we'll pitch them on the next deal. So it's a great thing to do. So projects like that are going to be this year. Paying off some of that debt will get us to that. But for me, and while I show you a few of these pictures, I'll go through this pretty quickly, but I want you to start thinking, in fact, type into the chat as I go through this, what is a dream life? Let's start off by thinking, where do you guys want to travel? Type in the chat. You had your top place. You could go anywhere in the world. Where would you go? What would you do? What country would you visit? Go ahead and type in the chat. New Zealand. Okay, says I love New Zealand. Been there. Hawaii, Tahiti. We went there on our honeymoon. Thailand. It's amazing. I agree, Mike. So there's so many fun things to do. So this is, for me, travel the world with my family is the dream life. This is what our recent dream life calendar looks like, guys. We spent 3.5 months in the past year as a family, not for business. This is for personal travel with me and Becky alone, or with our kids in places like Costa Rica, Hawaii, Bora Bora, Bahamas. I think my favorite was probably Morocco. That was Sahara Desert trip with camels. And we did some local stuff in Michigan and Smoky Mountains. And then in the summer, we did 11 country tour of Europe. Spent 5 weeks. That was like it's the most complex, most intense trip I've ever done. It was amazing. Some Maximiliano says Japan or Italy. So this is the kind of stuff, guys. Put on your dream board, right? Put this up there. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. It can be very, very motivating. My next goal, once I drop 7 pounds, I'm 7 pounds away from my goal weight. We're going to Mount Everest. We're going to Nepal. So I have pictures on my wall right here of Nepal to keep me motivated for working toward that goal. So attach rewards to specific goals. So here's a couple of the pictures. This is in Mexico, Costa Rica. That's where I proposed to Becky. Took our family on a little family moon to Hawaii. This is where we went on our honeymoon to Tahiti, Bora Bora. Cruise to the Bahamas, Paris, Morocco. This is our trip to Eastern Europe. Some river rafting. Some amazing Count Dracula stuff. So, and then what else for you guys? Like, let's think about it. What is your dream car, right? Write in the chat. If you could drive any vehicle, what would that be? What would you want to own as your dream car? Let's see what people come up with. I know what Mitch loves. He loves himself a Corvette. he's actually Mitch. I need to give Mitch a shout out. He's a big part of why I bought this Tesla. You remember that, Mitch? Mitch was
I
like,
do.
Michael Huggins. They were like, I remember one day they almost like pinned me down. They're like, no more.
Nate, you're trading in the
Honda
Civic.
right? And the bumper was coming off. I mean,
It was an intervention. It was.
it was an intervention. So they made me get some new shoes and a new car, but I'm really grateful. So you see some saying Skyline Evo 8, Corvette, Lambo. I love it. So keep writing. I mean, put pictures like this up on your vision board because you want to really motivate yourself to get to this dream life position. Like I said, this is our house, 9,000 square feet, sports court, theater room. You know, it's been right next to the canyon. Just an incredible neighborhood. So, before I move on from that, where would you guys, if you could live anywhere, what would your dream house look like? Describe it in the chat, right? Tell us, where is it going to be? In Europe? Is it going to be on the beach? Is it going to be by the mountains? I mean, where, if you could pick anywhere in the world to live, to have your dream house, write about it. Let's see what you guys come up with. Utah. Actually, I'm with you. Okay, I mean, I love Utah. I'm such a skier. I can't leave this place. But where would that be? What would it look like? Rose Park, nice. Florida on the beach, cabin in Sundance. Italian villa, nice, on the coast of Tuscany. Carl, that sounds awesome. Keep those things rolling in, guys. You got to dream big. You got to allow yourself to dream big, and then find the Google Images. Just do a search on Google Images and copy and paste the ones that like really reached out to you. As long as I have my family, I love it. Okay. And then last of all, this is the fulfillment area of life, right? Like, it's not just about having a nice house or going to cool places. It's about making a difference. This is us in Cambodia, 2019. We're planning another trip there. I'll share that with you in a minute. But what do you want to do? Type in the chat. What if you could serve in any way you could? What would that look like? How do you want to help and serve? We help fund some wells for people to have clean water. In Cambodia, we've actually helped build a school out there, and this is school. We've got a school lunch program that we're working toward. In fact, our next step I'm friends with the founder of Vision Cambodia, and our next step is actually to build some short-term rentals in Cambodia and then use all the proceeds from the short-term rental to fund more wells, more schools to help educate these kids. And it also gives some of the locals a job as they help, clean the places and help the tourism, give people tours, all that kind of stuff. So I'd love to hear about any of your dreams for what you want to do, how you want to serve, how you want to help other people. Mahalini says, I dream to create Christmas miracles for family who have lost pregnancies and infant deaths, have a foundation for the benefits. Love it. Carl says, travel the world for the church, working with Helping Hands mission. Laura wants to help her granddaughter through cerebral palsy. So many great ideas, guys. So many great things. These are the things that are going to give you that why, right? That's going to give you that motivation to keep rocking and keep focused on the prize. So, man, I know I've covered a lot of ground in this time, but I'm just out of curiosity, if you got some value from this framework, this 5 levels of freedom, just type value into the chat. I'd love to see who got some value tonight from this 5 levels of freedom. This is something that I actually created myself in the last couple months. To me, it just gives a lot of motivation for working my way up the ladder. Every step is something to be celebrated. We want to, if you're at Shackled Beginnings, let's get you educated. Let's get you connected to Renatus. Let's get you to that first deal. Let's get you through working through firing your boss. And then let's move you all the way up the team through rentals and create that long-term recurring passive income. It's going to set you free in every way. We're here to help. That's why Mitch and Maeli do this every week, because we're here to help you guys to create that. So we want to do everything we can. So now I wanted to open it up here for the last 10 minutes or so to see what, and I wasn't able to see all the comments. So if you had a question that you asked previously that I didn't see, you can go ahead and retype it into the chat, because obviously I can't scroll up that far. But retype it into the chat. If you guys want to talk some more about affirmations, if you want to talk any more about morning routine, this is a chance to go deeper on anything, or just ask me whatever the heck you want.
Or come off mute. You're welcome to come off mute as well.
Yeah, or come off mute, type it in the chat, either way.
While we're waiting for people to get their questions loaded up, Nate, I think I'm just watching your transformation, and again, you and I kind of took parallel roads. We got started about the same time, but what really impresses me about your story, and this separates you from me, because I didn't do what I was told, but you did. You went to school. You got your doctorate. You got your I think you got multiple doctorates, didn't you?
Just one.
You got a doctorate. Obviously, along that road, you got your bachelor's degree, you got your master's degree, you got a doctorate. You wrote several books. You became a professor, and what's interesting to me is you kind of got to the end of that, and you're like, so where's my gold? Like where's this lifestyle that I thought was going to happen if I did everything that I was told in school that I was supposed to do, and that wasn't it. Right? I mean, it was exactly what you talked about, and that's passive income through real estate.
Yeah, exactly. It was the shackled beginnings, just like working for someone else and making someone else wealthy.
Exactly.
So, and actually, guys, as your questions are coming in, I'm going to give you all a free gift. I've got a book, Active Life Passive Income, that I wrote a couple years ago. I'm going to give you a free Audible and digital copy of that book. I just put it in the chat so you guys can listen to it. You can read it digitally. And just want to give you guys as much value as I possibly can. So just go ahead and download that, and then I'll start answering some questions. So Max asks, what books do you recommend for vision boards, making goals, and accomplishing them? That's a great question. So I would definitely say one of the top books in this category is called Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. That was one of the things that really transformed my life, got me started on a lot of these. He gives a great structure for creating an incredible morning every day. And then LK says, how does it feel to become the man you are today compared to when you started? When did you start this journey? Yeah, LK, it really feels good. I mean, I gotta say, like, partly why I love to jump on things like this, because it just gives me a chance to really think about and ponder that journey and like how fun and gratifying it truly has been. It's just, like I say, I mean, it's not even so much the money. I mean, I've done over 100 deals, but it's about the satisfaction of having the time freedom, man, especially when I went through those dark years of divorce just recently, right? I mean, I just rebuilding in the last year, and I'm telling you guys, like that time freedom was invaluable. I mean, I was destroyed emotionally. I was like crying a couple times a day. I was a mess. It was such a dark time. But I'm so grateful for the real estate, the Renatus income that gave me the chance to really spend my time with the boys, help rescue them, just to design my dream wife. I mean, she's everything I could ever hope for in a wife. But it was that time freedom that helped me design what I wanted. I even had affirmations about the kind of wife I wanted. And I got exactly all 53 things that I put on my vision board and shouted on my affirmations, right? Like, that was really important. And it was that time freedom that gave me the chance to pursue that really full time. I mean, I was like, that was my thing, is helping my kids survive and finding myself a new companion. So that was, it's the real estate really gives you that kind of possibility. So,
and the journey's not easy. Like the journey is, I mean, when who was it that asked, how does it feel to be the man you are today compared to when you started? One of the words, a lot of positive words came to mind, but one of the words was exhausted. but you've got to fight the fight. I mean, this is, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? And life, I mean, when you start hitting your goals and becoming successful, life still happens, right? Just like you talked about, Nate. Like, sometimes when stuff's going well on some of those areas of life, some of those 6 areas of life that you shared, another one falls apart. You've got to take time to focus on that. But how awesome is it that you had set up a situation through real estate where it was like, hey, I need to take a year. I need to focus on my family. I've got to get things back in order. 2 years.
A 2-year sabbatical.
Even better. But it really, when we get things in the right order in our lives and our education process, really helps us understand how to set up that passive income and do it in a way. It's not something that you can walk away from necessarily forever. It takes work every day, but it is something that can create that freedom to where, Maeli and I have had situations where it's like, we didn't expect COVID to hit, or we didn't expect interest rates to go up, or we didn't expect this, or we didn't expect that. But real estate has always been there as something that's provided that lifeboat, right? So
por ahí estamos comunicándonos, ¿no?
Exactly.
We got somebody coming off mute here. Do you have a question? Oh, they just went back on mute.
I muted them. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
They knew that they were off.
Any other questions, guys? Well, we got Nate here. LK says thanks for the book. Also, thank you for the book, Nate. I'm going to be listening to it.
Me too. That's awesome. Love it. I do love that you said I preach this all the time, but it's, full-time, part-time on your dreams, or right, and then full-time on your job for a while. And I think that that's so often, we always think that there's this get-rich-quick type of strategy out there, and there's not, right? Like, there's just not. And you have to put in the time, you have to put in the work, and the work is here. And sometimes people are like, why do you teach so much on mindset? Like, they're always like, wow, like, you guys I thought this was a real estate education course, or class or mastermind. And it is, but here, like, if we're not focusing on the right things every single day, which is our faith, our family, the why behind it, we will burn out as fast as we possibly can the moment we lose $1. Right? I mean, like, it's so easy to give up on our dreams. How often have you dreamt something and then just was like, oh, it's too hard, I'll stop? It happens every day, right? We do this all the time. And so we have to have a greater why. We have to have a greater purpose. And if we can create that vision board, if we really can do what Nate has done and just been like, no, these are the things I'm going to achieve. Who doesn't want to travel like Nate? I mean, I'm like, I love it so much every time you post, and he does. Everyone needs to go follow Nate on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. I follow him on Facebook, and I love to hear his stories. It's like my favorite thing ever, and he's such a great storyteller. If you don't know this about Nate, he is. And he explains all the details, all the dirty laundry in his endeavors too, which is great.
I don't sugarcoat it.
No, you don't. It's my favorite is that I feel like I'm a part of your journey, always. And I love that you share that about your real estate deals or about family matter that you're going through or but you're taking your children through this journey and then us as well. And I get to live vicariously through you. So thanks for always, posting something amazing and the hard things, because that's it, right? That's how we all learn is from doing and overcoming all those hard things that we do, right?
Absolutely. Well said, Mealy. Well said.
Nate,
So,
LK,
LK says, because you haven't stopped walking, it gives me an amazing sense that you live by what you preach. It reminds me of David Goggins. Thanks so much, LK. Yeah, I've been, I'm just under 3 miles right now, so I try to walk about 6 to 7 miles a day. It's been a game changer. Let's see. So Max says, what helps you get started when making and accomplishing goals, and what keeps you committed to it? Great question. So I think what helps me get started is just think exercises like this, right? Like getting your dream board together, thinking about what is it that really drives you the most, Max? I mean, looking at your life and what's gonna push you. Is it your family? Is it your faith? Is it more of this? Is it more of that? Is it service opportunities? And then just really creating that compelling vision, because it all starts with the vision, right? Isaiah said, without a vision, the people perish. You got to have a powerful vision that motivates you to going, and that also keeps me committed. But I also have I have other things in place, right? I have accountability partners. Right now, my wife's my biggest accountability partner, but I also have, I have for a long time, Mitch was one. We were just going back and forth. We were challenging each other, giving each other ideas, and we've started that up again, which is awesome. But it's having accountability partners to keep pushing you, keep checking in on you. I have a brother, actually 2 brothers that we account to each other on our health stuff every day. Share what our goals, what we're doing. So keeping that community element, and that's one of the powerful things about being in Renatus is you get a chance to account to a lot of people, and they're helping push you and giving permission, right? Say, hey, do you want to be my accountability partner? How about we check in with each other every Monday, say what we accomplished, say what our goals are, and that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah. No, I love that. And that's important is, our community really does set everything apart. I mean, you had mentioned that you had joined, multiple other little things before you joined, our community. And that really is what makes the difference. I mean, yes, education is above all that I've ever seen, but it's the people, right? It's who's attracted to this, and it's that we are this really tight-knit community. And if you're having a bad day, I know everyone laughs at us and makes fun of us when we call it real estate church. Don't be offended. It's just a funny thing that we say for our Thursday nights, and for these Wednesday nights, I mean, it really recharges our batteries. Why are we doing this? You hear somebody else's hardship and you're like, oh yeah, oh, I can do this. Oh, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. All right, I'm not going through this by myself. Somebody else is also going through something very hard or maybe very similar, and they can help me have a better mindset to get me through this. And having the community will do that. So come every Thursday. I'm here. Are you there? Let's go. You can be there Thursday, and then make a commitment right now for 2024 to be here every Wednesday, right? How easy is this? I'm in jammies. I mean, right? How easy? Or walk. I mean, that's a better call, but
or walk up and join the call like Nate.
There you go.
Nate, I love it.
That's right, and I love what you said about it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's get educated, build relationships, and then get rich, right? Because you need those things in place first,
yeah,
and do all that through this amazing community that
we have. And the key is endurance. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be great times. You're gonna have opportunities to go take amazing photographs in amazing places, just like Nate did. But the only way you're going to get there is if you don't quit when it's hard. And I love, there's a great quote. I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't remember it word for word, but Nelson Mandela said, I never lose, I win or I learn, which means to me that he doesn't give up. In our society, and especially we're trained this in elementary school through college, that if you don't get the outcome you were looking for, you failed. And that's not true. If you don't get the outcome you're looking for, you've learned. I mean, look at how Elon Musk builds his rockets, right? He'll build one and then he'll launch it and it blows up, and he figures out why it blew up, and then he fixes that in the next one, and that one blows up for a different reason, and just iterative, right? And there's no failing. He's just learning as he goes. The only way you can really fail at this is if you stop doing it. And so just perseverance, endurance. Like I think LK asked, what do you do when you fall short on what you're accountable for? I'll let you answer that as well, Nate. But you just get up and keep going, right? If you fall short, like as soon as you realize it, you stand up, you dust yourself off, and you start moving again. Get back on that treadmill, right, Nate?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's a great response. It's just about you can't let shame get in the way, right? You gotta forgive yourself and go back to work. Just not mess it up and jump back in.
Yep.
Gold.
Yep. You're gonna have times where you fall short in your routine. You're gonna have deals that don't go like you expected. You're gonna have relationships that fall apart. You're gonna have all the things, right? And you just have to keep going. And when you keep going, it's in that journey that those amazing things show up, right? Where the deals show up that are that add to your cash flow, and that the traveling you get to do, and the people you get to meet, and the connections you make, and it's always around the next corner, and so you just have to keep going to get to that next corner. And the destination, by the way, there is no destination. The destination is you die. The fun part's the journey. All the good and all the bad, right?
That's a great note to end off. The destination is to die. I'm gonna
the
put that. The
destination is that you die.
No, it's true. It's about continual growth. That's what really yields satisfaction that we're all looking for, whether it be growth in our relationships, our health, our finances. That growth is what keeps the fulfillment and the satisfaction in life.
Yep.
That's so beautiful. Well, before I will let everybody, so you can do it now, Mitch, or you can do this later, but I want everyone to come off, or even if you're in jammies and your hair is all kinds of crazy, I got to take a picture for 2024. Who showed up and then who's hitting our goals. So
let me pull the spotlights off. 1 second.
Yes. I need everybody on. I need to take some pictures.
There we go. All right. Everybody come on. Everybody turn your camera on for just a second. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, as long as you're decent.
Whatever. Just kidding. Allison's coming up. All right. Yes. Coach Alaro. Yes. Mark. Yeah. Oh, you're at the gym, I think. Look at you. You are hitting it. Nice. Mahaya. I love you, Bill. Okay. Can you, let's see. How do I go back to the other view? There we go. Okay. Oh, look at all these pretty faces. I don't see enough faces, but I'll take it anyway. What's up? Woohoo! 2024. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Oh, that's so fun. I loved having you guys here. Oh, so fun. Love it. And we have so much more amazing, obviously, things coming for this season of 2024. I want to hear what you guys are going to commit to. So we are going to be setting goals for yourself, right? But also as a team. Like we said, we're a community. So put in the chat if you have something very specific that you're like, I am hitting this. I heard Allison Chavez and Jeremy earlier say something on the phone, so I'm going to call them out maybe for a second. I overheard a little bit of something, but like them, they said, I want to say that they're like, we're going to get into our first deal or something by the end of 2024, their first rental, maybe it was. They can come up.
First rental.
First rental, okay, because yes. I'm like, you're already in your first deal, so.
Yes, it was the first rental.
Ah,
first rental house.
Okay, first rental, I love that. What is the one thing that you will do no matter what it costs, no matter how much time, no matter how much effort, no matter how much you fail or start failing at something, but you're going to keep going. What is it by the end of 2024 you will achieve? You will do it or you'll die.
You'll do it or you die.
That's how goals work, right?
Exactly.
That is
And that's it.
fantastic.
It's just getting a rental and you know, at least one. You know, Mitch kind of just said one or maybe two. It's like, well, yeah, I guess we could look at it that way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just continuing to watch the videos and continuing to set aside time to do that. You know, and to continue to learn and gain the education.
Perfect. I love that. Mitch, you want to read some of these? Let's see if we can have some of them come off. Come on, I'm going to hold you accountable. What good is a goal if you don't put it down, right? That's somebody earlier asked, how do you stick to your goals? How do you actually achieve them? You first have to actually acknowledge it to the world that you're doing something. And if on your, you know, when you're signing off on your email or when you're signing off on whatever you're doing, if you don't say that you're a real estate investor, you're probably doing something a little wrong. You need to take some control and be like, I am a CEO of my real estate investing business today. Right now, you are. Today. That's what you're doing. You're a real estate investor and you will achieve your goals and you will, right? These are the affirmations that I actually need to hear. I would love to hear Nate's affirmations.
Maeli.
Yes.
Hey, so I feel like that for me, the reason why I'm not being as successful is because I'm not make myself part of your community. So my goal is to this year be attending at least one meeting every week, so I can be more engaged and get to know you guys, so I can grow and probably help you guys grow as well.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks, okay? I'm grateful to have you. This will be so fun. Thank you, thank you. Let's see, anyone else? 20 wholesale deals and 5 long-term rentals. Residential rentals. Okay, Mike Villa coming in hot. I'm holding you accountable. I'm taking pictures of all of these, just so you know. You're gonna get this. Oh, this is good. Let's see. I saw Mahea's earlier too. My goal is to have 2 more fix and flips. Yes. Okay. So 2 more fix and flips complete. I know you'll do it. At least, let's see, Bill, at least 1 fix and flip. You'll do it. I love it. Committing to attend. You know what though? I love that about. Okay. That is a huge like win. So many of us think that it's doing a fix and flip or it's doing maybe the rental. But for some of us, it's actually just showing up. It's actually just showing up to the meeting that is the most important part. Because kind of everything else will take place naturally, right? Like it's the motion that causes us to actually hit our goals and hit our target. It's when we're like, oh, I used to be, actually, I'll tell you this. I used to be very much like this. I have to catch myself all the time to not be like this. I used to be the type of person, and Mitch has helped me. He's also my accountability partner. And he has a great mindset. And I used to think that I had to it was all or nothing. And maybe some of you can relate to that. But I used to be that person that, for instance, working out. If I couldn't do the full 6 miles that Nate's doing right now, I'd just be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Like, that's how I lived my life. If it was, oh, well, my education, right? If I don't have my full 1 hour that I'm supposed to watch today or listen to today, so I might as well just not even start. So I just wouldn't do it. And, you know, go ahead and put your yes in the chat if that's been you, maybe for 2023. Or, oh, I'm going to be 15 minutes late to the meeting, so I just won't go, right? I don't want to bother people. I don't want to be late. I don't want to put people out or whatever it is, so I just won't go. But guys, and I don't know what the stat is, maybe somebody can, you know, put it in the chat. But even if you just watched, I know with the books that if you just read 10 pages, just 10 pages a day for an entire year, I think you read like 26 books on average. Like, that's crazy to think about, that we really can hit our goals if we're willing to stop and go, wait a second. That seems very, you know, it's really obnoxious to create those weird limiting beliefs and those weird rules that we put on ourselves, that even if you hit, some people just joined 10 minutes ago. And I'm so proud of you that you joined 10 minutes ago. Who cares, right? You're at least getting some type of motivation. You're showing up for yourself in some way, whether you walked 1 mile or you walked, if you're like, oh, I walked from your house down to the street and you walked back. Success, right? We need to really acknowledge the small wins as well, because we do fall short. We will every day. You're going to fall short. And instead of beating yourself over it, you really need to go, wow, I did accomplish this. I did actually show up once a week to a meeting. Like, that's amazing. I love that.
And that's it's a mindset, right? It's a winning mindset versus a losing mindset. We're all going to win and we're all going to lose. We're all going to do both, right? It's what you focus on is what you get. If you focus on the losses, you've got a losing mindset. If you focus on the wins, you've got a winning mindset. And as you focus on those wins, your brain's going to reprogram itself to go get more wins.
I'm committed. Let's go.
2024, here we go. All right, guys. Well, Nate Lambert, thank you so much for joining us today. Gosh, what an amazing training. So look at him. He's still on the treadmill. I thought he turned his camera off because he got off the treadmill. No, he's still going. You look a pound lighter as well than when we started this call. I love it. Nate, thank you so much for being here. Absolutely. It's our pleasure. We'd love to have you back on again in 2024. And, just such an inspiration. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your experience. Guys, let's go out and let's crush it. Let's set some goals, create a vision board, put in place, like Nate talked about, put in place not just what the goal is, but put a timeline on it, put an amount on it. Make it something that actually gives you a benchmark to achieve. Outline a plan of how you're going to do it, and let's go crush this year. The only person standing in your way is you. There's no shackles. There's nothing tying you to the floor. It's all in here, right? So let's change this and let's go win the day. Nate, thank you again. Guys, we're going to be back next Wednesday with more amazing content for you. So be sure that you join us then. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, stay hungry to go out and do some real estate. We will see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.